Come live and work in Aotearoa, New Zealand, because together we can do amazing things.
Welcome everyone to the Working in New Zealand Health webinar. It's wonderful to have you be able to join us today to find out more about working and living in New Zealand. Working in case you aren't aware, is a privately owned company that assists international candidates with everything they need to know about making a successful move to New Zealand. We're an immigration, visa, settlement and recruitment company all wound up into one. So my name is Robin. Very nice to meet you. I head up the health recruitment team here at Working In. I live and work in Auckland, which is where our head office is based. Primarily, my role is to assist you with finding the best possible job opportunity here. Joining me today, all the way from Taranaki on the west coast of the North Island of New Zealand, is Monica. Monica is a licensed immigration advisor in our visa team, and she is a specialist in assisting health professionals with their New Zealand visas. She's a wealth of knowledge, not only professionally, but also personally, as she has adopted New Zealand as her home. Welcome, Monica.
Welcome, Robin. Welcome, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for a nice introduction, and just a little bit more about myself. So I'm originally from Poland, and I have been a licensed immigration advisor since January 2018, guiding many clients through the visa process, application process, and I've been through the process myself. So I really enjoy helping our clients with the journey as well, making New Zealand a home. I have lived in New Zealand for the last 14 years, and I have always lived in the small towns. So I really enjoy the balance that New Zealand has to offer. And like someone said to me, the time means nothing and hurry is unknown, which is really nice. Now I am based in beautiful Taranaki. I really enjoy the beaches, hiking, exploring new places, and assisting everyone else to make New Zealand a home.
Thanks, Monica. We also have our wonderful health candidate manager, Jane, who will be assisting us today by answering your questions or any questions you may have on the live chat. I see a few of you have already said a few hellos, which is great. Continue those. We really enjoy them. But we'll also provide you with a follow-up email at the end of this webinar so that you can go back and look through everything, and also we'll probably talk to you and give you quite a few important links to various parts information, so they will be all on there too. So anyway, let's get started. I think we'll whiz through most of this and the time will go quite quickly. So first of all, we're going to talk about getting prepared to move here. This is probably the biggest part of coming over, and it's an essential part in order to make sure that your journey is as smooth as possible. It's the key to a successful move. Wouldn't you agree, Monica?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know about when you came over, Monica, but would there be any sort of things that you would highly recommend that you do or don't do in the start of your journey?
Oh, absolutely. Having a team behind you supporting you, immigration advisor, recruiters, is a must. When I came to New Zealand over 14 years ago, I've applied for my visas and I had assistant of licensed immigration advisor. Right. And a little bit of the story. So that was at the time, 2010-11, when the earthquakes were happening in Christchurch. My passport was in the Christchurch immigration office. My visa was running out and I started to panic. I didn't know what to do. So having someone being there for you, I believe, is a must. That was my experience.
Yes, takes all that stress away, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You know what to do. You've got someone to pick up the phone call and have those questions answered.
Yeah, so as we're saying, you will have a lot of questions about where you should start and your preparation and how you should do that. So I think probably the most important thing for all of you as health professionals is first, it's critical that you check that you are able to be registered to work in New Zealand. So Jane will put some links up in regards to certain professions and the boards or councils that you would need to check. So they're all online, and there will be specific criteria according to what you do around whether or not you are able to work in New Zealand as a health professional. Once you have established that you are eligible for registration, it's very important to bear in mind that some registrations, not all, do take between 4 to 6 months to become registered. As you can appreciate, there is a lot of documentation required, and that has to be verified, and certain things that each profession asks you to do. So it's really important to do that first and foremost. Second, perhaps on your list would be to update your CV. And in New Zealand, the employers like to see your most recent job first on your CV, with the one that that you started with at the end. So you need to do that in reverse chronological order. And it just needs to be quite clear and tidy. Many of you may be listening from the United States today. Just a point there is that I know in the United States, they ask for a one-page CV. Here, we probably recommend sort of 2, maximum of 3 pages. So there is an opportunity to list down what you have done in each role. Next up, do some research on New Zealand. Employers, once you get up to that stage, want to know that you have researched and you know how things work here. So things you need to look at are obviously location, and we'll talk to you about that a little bit further on in the webinar. But you also need to do some research about the health system in New Zealand and how it works, and how each of your jobs match over here. So we can help you with that in regards to salaries, that type of thing. So we can definitely assist you in that area. Next up is where Monica comes into play, is making sure that your family, depending on who you're moving with, are eligible for a visa. So this is an opportune time to get in touch with our visa team. Perhaps, Monica, would be a good opportunity here for you to just say what would be the first step in regards to finding out whether you can have a visa for New Zealand.
I believe starting from a proper eligibility assessment is a must.
Yes.
Because everyone's circumstances are different. So what we do, based on documents provided by you, we do a proper eligibility assessment. So we tell you what visa you are eligible for, what requirements you will have to meet. So very, very important health character requirements. So we will assess it. We have a look at your situation. You might have children. We will have a look at their age. Are they eligible to be included in your visa application? What documentation will be required to provide? So we will work with you. We will prepare a document checklist that will be specifically for your needs, for your requirements. We will gather all those documents. We'll be checking those documents. We will email you some drafts, some templates to help you out with those ones.
Right.
And we will prepare you for the process. So when the time will come that you are ready to apply for a visa, we make sure that we've got 100% all those documents and you are ready to submit the application to Immigration New Zealand.
Fantastic. That sounds like it would make it very smooth and easy. Great, thanks for that, Monica. I guess the next thing would be also to establish a time frame for moving. Set yourself a goal so that you know when the earliest time would be that you could realistically get here, bearing in mind the time it takes to register for your profession, along with obtaining a visa. So it's sort of important to sort of get an idea that, say, I'm going to come middle of 2025, and then you can work back from there. And the last but not least is to make sure that you have enough funds to relocate. It's important to note that employers in New Zealand in the health sector do not sponsor. They may on occasion offer you relocation assistance. However, you need to have the funds up front, because that relocation assistance will only be reimbursed once you've started your job here, and usually sort of within the first couple of pay packets. So that's really important to bear that in mind. We can also discuss with you how much money you may need, but obviously it will depend on whether you're coming as an individual or a family. So next up, very important, is where to live in New Zealand. As I mentioned before, I live in Auckland, which is the largest city in New Zealand, which I think is approximately 1.75 million at the moment. So for some of you that will seem quite small. However, it is where most things, most main hospitals are in New Zealand. However, we have various other reasonably sized cities throughout the country, along with also regional places as well. So there is a lot to consider. I guess there's pros and cons with everything. Monica, I mean, how do you find living in a smaller place in New Zealand?
Yes, well, it took me some time to get used to it, but then once you get to know people, once you settle in, it's just lovely. And the beauty of New Zealand is amazing. The background picture of yours is Abbot Tasman, so it's the top of the South Island. It's just lovely. That was my backyard. I used to live there. Now I am in the beautiful Taranaki, so it's a small location. I believe every place in New Zealand has something nice to offer. We are assisting clients who really want to be in the South Island and North Island. There's always, every place in New Zealand has something nice to offer. I really enjoy being very close to the beach. So this is my backyard. And before I start work or after work, I take my dog for a walk, and it's only 5 minutes away, which is really nice. I really enjoy that. And yeah, every place in New Zealand has something really nice to offer. If you're in a city, you still have maybe just a drive distance to the beach or go to the mountains. It's all so close. It's just amazing. It's really nice.
Yeah, very accessible. You're right. I mean, even obviously Auckland's surrounded by beaches, but even some of the inland cities, such as Hamilton, for example, you're sort of half an hour to the west coast and an hour to the east. So that's the advantage of being on a little slither of land. There is sea all around us. So, and as Monica also mentioned, mountains and a lot of outdoor activities. So it really depends on what you're looking for, whether it's an urban or a rural location. So there's a lot of information on the web. Definitely have a look at that. But, Monica and myself and the rest of the team here at Working In, we're also here to help and discuss any location with you. Along with where to live, there's a consideration of cost of living. Obviously, it's more expensive to live in a city such as Auckland or Wellington, and your cost of living will be less if you're in a smaller city or town. Very important just on that one to be very careful when you are looking at cost of living on the internet, not to then compare what you may be earning in your current role with and converting that into New Zealand dollars. And I always guess I say to candidates, it's a bit like comparing apples and pears. They are two different fruits. So you will be earning New Zealand dollars and spending New Zealand dollars. So it's just a good one to note there on that one. Anything else you'd like to add there, Monica?
I have been talking to many clients and my friends who are migrants as well, and majority of them, they have said that yes, they change, their lifestyle totally, but they have more time with the family. So they go to work, they work, but then the weekend is for them and for the family. So I think this is really important to consider as well, because if you like if you're in America and you're coming to New Zealand and you're a nurse, maybe the pay might be a little bit slightly less, but then again, you will have that lifestyle that you will have your weekends or weekdays off, and you can go and hike, and you can take your children and do picnic and go and swimming. I remember in one of my first jobs in New Zealand, I was finishing after 5 o'clock, and some of my colleagues were telling me that they are going kayaking. And I was like, what are you going to do? Kayaking? This is something that you're doing on a holiday. I'm originally from Poland. I haven't mentioned that. So, so in Poland, when you're doing kayaking, it's more like holiday activity.
Yes.
You take time off from work, whereas here you go to your work, you do your work, and then after that you still have the time to take your kayak or bicycle, go to the mountain, go to the beach, and the lifestyle is just amazing.
I think it's that work-life balance, isn't it? It's a real plus.
It is.
Definitely is. Okay, so you've planned your journey, you've had a look at locations, and now it's time to hit, and you've got your registration underway. Now it's time to secure a job, and that's where we definitely come into play to assist you with that. The benefit of using Working In recruitment in regards to securing a job is that you have somebody representing you here in New Zealand. So rather than just being a name on a CV, you will have Jane and myself will be able to talk to our clients about you and your skills, and we'll be able to bring that CV to life. So it's a real advantage for you. We can give you information about salaries. We can consult you in regards to interview preparation and all of that type of thing. We work with private and public employers in the health system, and we have many contacts throughout New Zealand. So our recruitment service is a free service, so it's definitely something that you should really look to take advantage of. I think the key is to make sure that your CV is up to date. We can help you with that. We can provide templates along with that as well, and get that all organised for you. So definitely get in touch once you have thought, yes, this is a definite thing for me, and we can start the job search for you. What we advise is once you know when the earliest is that you will be able to or looking to arrive in New Zealand, we would start a job search for you no more than 6 months out from that date. It's very hard for employers to think who they need in their staffing further out from that. So that's about the right time to get everything in place and to get your visa secured once you have your job offer. So important to note, you need that job offer before you can get your visa, apply for your visa. Moving on to visas, Monica, on that note, yes, you need a job offer for your visa, but there is stuff you can do prior to that. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So if you decide to work with us, what we do, we will email you, we will coordinate the whole process. So what we will do first, we will meet with you. We will send you document checklist that will be relevant to your circumstances. So if you are a single person, if you've got a family, we will prepare that right document checklist. We will gather all those documents. We will check them. We will it will speak as well to your potential employers. When the time will come that you've got a job offer, we will draft the visa application. We will submit the visa application to Immigration New Zealand on your behalf with all the relevant documents supporting the visa application. So we will be with you working very closely, gathering all those documents. We are only asking for documents that are relevant and required. So if you've got a family and you would like to bring your partner, we will be asking for partnership documents. If you've got children, we will ask for some documents relevant to your children. And once the application is with the Immigration New Zealand, we will be keeping in touch on the progress. We will give you regular updates, and we will deal with any questions or inquiries from Immigration New Zealand. And what else? We will take away all that stress from you, which I've done it myself. I had an immigration advisor assisting me with my immigration visa process, and that was really, really good. At the time when I was applying, just a little bit about myself, when I was applying, there's earthquakes were happening in New Zealand, and my passport was with the government. My visa was running out and I didn't know what to do. I started to panic. Lucky I had someone who was there only phone call away. Calm me down. It will be all right. This is what's going to happen. So you will be lawfully in New Zealand. It's not that you will have to go now. You can stay. It's all right, which is really, really good to having that support and having someone to holding your hand in some ways.
Yes.
What we also offer, we offer relocation services. So we will connect you with our partners in regards to flight tickets, rental properties, maybe opening bank accounts, connecting with local schools for your children, preparing your pets to move. You can bring your pets to New Zealand. It is a process, so it's always good to start sooner rather than later. We will help with opening bank account and more. We will answer your immigration questions and making sure that the process is as easy as possible, as smooth as possible. So this is what we will do. And you'll always know that there is someone there to help you. We will meet with you. If you need to meet online, we will meet, we will send emails. We are there for you. So you know you are not on your own.
Yeah, which is really important. I think also, you know, like Monica mentioned, we do offer lots of relocation support, and we have a special move expert, Paul, who has many connections with lots of different companies. And once you are a working in candidate, he can talk to you about all of those options in regards to bringing yourself, family, pets, etc., out to New Zealand. So that's really valuable. I know, Monica, just to go back, can we just clarify? I know there's often lots of questions about which type of visa visas are available for international people to work in New Zealand on. Would you mind just touching base on those for us?
Sure. So in New Zealand, we've got temporary visas. So the temporary visa would be a visa that will give you a certain amount of time to be in New Zealand, up to 5 years. So that visa is called accredited employer work visa.
So would that, sorry to interrupt, but would that sort of suit somebody more that was coming here for just a few years on a working holiday per se?
Yep. So if you would like to try New Zealand, you don't want to commit 100%, you just want to try and see what New Zealand is about, I would recommend to go for that temporary visa. You can bring your family, you can come on your own, you can bring your children. So your partner can apply for a work visa that will give them rights to work in New Zealand. Your children can apply for dependent student visa, so they can attend schools in New Zealand and be seen as a domestic student. Once you're in New Zealand, you can, and you're happy, you've checked and you're satisfied, New Zealand is the place that you would like to settle and stay, we can apply for resident visa. There are certain options for some occupations that you can apply for resident visa straight away. They call this straight to residence.
Right.
So Immigration New Zealand, the government has created a list of occupations. They call this the green list, with occupations that are required to apply for that resident visa straight away. So, for example, dentist, GP, some other specialists, doctor specialists, midwives, registered nurses, psychologists, counselors, dietitians, speech language therapists. So there's lots of medical occupations that could apply for that residency straight away. You can include your family. However, you will need to meet certain requirements. So as you, Robin, were saying before, some occupations will require registrations, which may take some time, but we can work alongside you guys, recruitment team, and we can gather all the documents. And in the meantime, our candidates are applying for those registrations. So then when the time comes, you can apply for jobs. Once you have a job offer in place, the process goes relatively quick. So yeah, and then maybe a little bit of the processing time as well. So once we have the visa application with immigration, it could take between 6 weeks to 3 months, the processing time. So this will depend on what type of visa you're applying for, if there are any potential issues. So when you be applying for a visa, you will be also required to do medical tests and provide police certificates. So we will let you know what is required at what stage. If you've got children, your children will be required to do medicals as well, your partners. You will need to provide police certificates from country of your citizenship and some other countries. So it will depend what visa type we will apply. So we will prepare that tailored document checklist.
Right.
We will understand your situation and we will let you know what is required, how to do this, how to prepare, how to apply for that document. So this is what we will assist with.
Wonderful. I do know we've had a few candidates who unfortunately haven't used our visa team, and a couple of situations just recently where they have taken so long to get their visa because there has been a few hiccups along the way that unfortunately their job offer has been withdrawn. So a real advantage of having somebody like Monica on your side and your team is to get things moving along quickly. And like Monica said, you can start getting that documentation ready as we're also looking after you on the recruitment side and finding a job so that you'll visa ready to go as soon as you've got a signed job offer. So I'd highly recommend reaching out to our visa team and looking at their services. Well, we're coming to the end very quickly. It's been great to have you all listening and lots of wonderful questions I see coming through on the chat. Keep those coming. But just to really summarise what we've gone through today, key points are get registered. First of all, check that you're eligible for that. Make sure you've done plenty of research and preparation about New Zealand, where you want to live, cost of living, that type of thing. And then get your CV ready, so your job ready to go. Get in touch with us. We will put a link up on our chat in regards to the appraisal that you can fill in if you're interested. We'd love you to include your CV with that. Really important to not apply for any jobs before you contact us. We'll do that all for you. As if once you do start applying for jobs, we obviously can't approach those employers as well. So if you want the best service possible, get in touch today. And we'll then look to a one-on-one consultation, both for recruitment and also for eligibility around visas. So that's where it starts from here. It's really exciting. We really appreciate you listening into this webinar and showing your interest in coming to our wonderful country. We'd love to have you here, all things going well. I really appreciate too, Monica, having you with me today. It's always really good to have first-hand experience from someone who's taken that plunge, been brave, and embraced all things Kiwi. So thank you.
Thank you.
Jane will continue to answer your questions on the chat, so feel free to pop things up there and we can obviously email or communicate with you directly if you have any more specific questions. But once again, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or probably evening wherever you are, and we wish you all the best in your move to New Zealand. Thanks so much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye now. Bye-bye.